Welcome. I'm Alfonso with the National Veteran Small Business Coalition, and today I'm joined by Adam McCarty, the Associate Director of Veteran Business Programs and Strategic Partnerships with NaVOBA, and Jim Yauger, the Program Manager for Entrepreneurship at IVMF. These two leaders are at the center of a movement transforming how veteran-owned businesses access corporate America. Today's conversation is for every veteran entrepreneur who's ever asked the question, are there bigger opportunities waiting for me beyond government contracts? The answer is yes, and VETS26 is where it starts. So gentlemen, let's begin. So Adam, for the veteran business owner watching this right now, why is VETS26 the event they absolutely cannot miss this year?
There's a moment in every veteran entrepreneur's journey where they realize that their military experience isn't just their backstory, it's their competitive advantage. VETS26 is designed to activate that advantage in corporate America's supply chain. Over 900 Fortune 1000 companies recognize NaVOBA's Certified Veterans Business Enterprise certification as their preferred vendors. This is not a government mandate. This is corporate America making a choice. And at VETS26, you're not just attending a conference, you're sitting across from the corporate procurement professionals. You'll hear what they're looking for, what they need from their suppliers, and how to position your business to win. If you're serious about growing your revenue beyond government work, this is your conference.
So Jim, what does the data tell us about why this moment right now is particularly important for veteran business owners to lean into corporate contracting?
I think the timing couldn't be more significant. IVMF's 2025 research shows us a clearer picture that veteran-owned businesses are winning in the corporate marketplace. And those that haven't made the shift are potentially leaving revenue on the table. 61% of veteran-owned businesses saw revenue growth from corporate contracts compared to just 51% from government contracts. And when it comes to profit margins, 48% are reporting higher margins on the corporate procurement side versus just 18% in government contracting. Additionally, the entrepreneurial track record of veterans really speaks for itself. The SBA reported that veterans are approximately 45% more likely to start a business than somebody with no military experience. Currently, 1 in every 7 veterans own a business, compared to just 1 in 14 non-veterans. So VETS26 is the conference that can help you connect your talent to those opportunities.
Okay, so Adam, let's flip the lens here for a bit. What's the business case for corporate procurement and supplier development teams to be in the room at VETS26?
The business case starts with spending power. According to NaVOBA research, there's roughly 22 million veterans nationwide, and veteran households spend approximately 16% more overall than the average U.S. household. That creates a veteran community spending power exceeding $1.5 trillion annually. When corporations actively source from veteran-owned businesses, they're not just checking a box. They're building loyalty and a customer base that notices and rewards companies that invest in the veteran community. Veteran-owned businesses are 30% more likely to hire other veterans as employees, meaning a corporation's supply chain investment multiplies. It multiplies its impacts across the entire military community. At VETS26, every supplier in that room has been independently verified as being veteran-owned, operated, and controlled either by NVSBC, SBA, or NaVOBA. And these are not applicants. These are vetted, procurement-ready, mission-driven business owners, and corporate sourcing teams won't find a more efficient pipeline anywhere else in the country.
Great point, great point. So Jim, from a research standpoint, what makes veteran-owned businesses reliable, high-performing suppliers for corporate supply chains?
Military service at its core is a proving ground for performance under pressure. Those traits that make somebody effective in uniform, traits like mission focus, traits like integrity, discipline, the ability to execute when things get hard, those are exactly the same traits that make a great supplier and a great entrepreneur. U.S. military might be the #1 producer of minority-owned businesses around, with approximately 45% of 200,000 troops leaving service each year, and 1 in 4 of those becoming business owners. This equates to the military generating roughly 22,000 new veteran-owned businesses every year. Think about founders like Phil Knight at Nike, or Fred Smith at FedEx, or even Ross Perot at EDS. Military entrepreneurs aren't aren't just a niche. They are a proven pipeline of business talent. Corporate America's best supplier decisions often include veteran-owned firms, not just out of generosity, but out of competitive strategy.
Okay, so let's talk about commercial diversification. Jim, let's define this for our audience. What exactly is commercial diversification, and why should every veteran business owner care about it?
Commercial diversification is the strategic decision to pursue corporate or private sector contracts alongside of, not in place of, but relying exclusively on government contracts. So it's about building a more resilient, more profitable, and more scalable revenue base. I like to think about it this way. If a veteran-owned business generates 100% of its revenue from one federal agency or just one government program, it's really exposing itself to budget cuts, contract changes, policy shifts, etc. Just look at recent years. We've seen what that kind of exposure can do. So commercial diversification is the business equivalent of not putting all of your eggs in one basket. Again, this doesn't mean that we're abandoning government work. We're not advocating for that by any means. But it does mean that we want to see you guys build a business that doesn't depend on it. And with the with the tools, with the certifications and the connections available through our partners at NaVOBA, through our partners at the NVSBC, and by attending VETS26 in New Orleans, veteran entrepreneurs are better positioned than ever to make this shift.
Solid points. So, Adam, how does NaVOBA's certification infrastructure support veteran business owners in making that commercial pivot?
Well, NaVOBA is the third-party certification body for veteran business enterprises for corporate America. When we certify a business, we are telling the Fortune 1000 procurement teams, this company is who they say they are, they've been vetted, and they are ready to do business with you. That certification is the foundation, but certification alone does not open doors. Building your relationships with the procurement teams is what opens the doors. And this is why NaVOBA built Operation Matchmaker. Every quarter, we host a structured one-on-one matchmaking event where NaVOBA certified VBEs sit directly across from corporate procurement decision makers who are actively seeking veteran suppliers. In 2025 alone, across 4 events, Operation Matchmaker brought together 65 corporations, 365 certified VBEs, which resulted in 169 curated meetings across all of the 4 quarters. 15% of those meetings led directly to RFPs, RFQs, or RFIs, which is up 4% from 2024. And 75% of the corporate participants said the connections made will be beneficial in the future. VETS26 takes this to a whole nother level. It's in person in New Orleans with thousands of participants and hundreds of them being in the same room at the same time, sitting directly across from each other, speaking face to face.
These have all been some great discussion points. So let's close out and talk about how to prepare for VETS26. So Adam, can you give our audience your top guidance? What should veteran business owners do to prepare for VETS26 and make the most of their time in New Orleans?
3 things, and maybe a bonus recommendation at the end. 1, get certified. If you're not certified by NaVOBA as a veterans business enterprise, do it today. Go to navoba.org/certification and start the process. The certification is your access credential in corporate America. Without it, you're competing blind. With it, you're walking into VETS26 as a preferred vendor to over 900 Fortune 1000 companies. 2, build your capability statement. The capability statement is your 1-page business resume. It outlines who you are, what you do, your NICS codes, your past performance, and your core competencies. Every corporate procurement professional you will meet at this conference will want to see it. Have it ready. Make it sharp and tailor it to the industries that you're targeting. 3, research who's in the room. NVSBC will publish the list of corporate participants. Do your homework on these participants. Know which companies align with your business, understand their veteran supplier goals, and come with specific value propositions for those conversations. And number 4, Jim and I are going to be there. So come to VETS26, come find Jim and I, and let's talk about veteran entrepreneurship in the private sector. The veterans who win at VETS26 aren't the ones who show up hoping for the best. They're the ones who treat this like a mission. They plan it, they prepare for it, and they execute when they get there.
All solid points. And Jim, any final guidance for veteran business owners who are on the fence about attending, who need maybe one more reason to make the trip to New Orleans?
I would say just look at the landscape right now. The landscape is shifting. Federal budgets are changing. The market is volatile, and the veteran entrepreneurs who will thrive are the ones who are building diversified revenue streams that don't just depend on one single source of government funding. The research backs this up. Corporate procurement offers higher revenue growths and simpler bidding process. So VETS26 is where you can build these relationships. You can make those connections that are going to protect your business and protect and position it for the next level of growth. The veteran entrepreneurs who've already made this transition will tell you the same thing. I wish I had done this sooner. You've served this country with honor, with discipline, sacrifice, and excellence. Now bring that same energy to corporate America's supply chain. We hope to see you in New Orleans.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. Adam, Jim, appreciate y'all's time. This is exactly the conversation needed to happen. And to every veteran business owner watching, that private sector opportunity is real. The door is open and VETS26 is where you walk through. And to our corporate friends, the most dedicated, qualified, mission-driven suppliers will be in the room. So register today at vetsconference.org, and we'll see y'all in New Orleans.
See you in New Orleans.